What's up, friend? Hector here, 𝗺𝗵𝗂𝗃.com. I'm going to do a set of, I'll probably do a set of snatches, and I'm going to do 2 sets of snatches, and I want to know if you can tell the difference between these 2 snatches. I'm going to run through them in live action, and I'm actually going to do something very different between the 2, and I want to see if you can catch it. At the end of this video, I'm going to reveal what I did. So, this is a little bonus segment of the snatch series that I just closed out this week. So I want to see if you can spot the difference. So I'm going to do 5 snatches right, rest for a little bit, do 5 snatches left, and when I do the left side, I'm going to do them differently. Okay, and I want to see if you can catch it, and then we'll rewind it all, and you can see it in slow-mo, and we'll break it all down. Okay, so here we go. I think it's 4. Okay. 5 snatches, did my best to do something different. Now I'm going to do this other side, and I'm going to make a little tweak. I'm going to see if you can catch it, okay? And if you don't, if you do, you're freaking awesome. You've got a great coaching eye. If you didn't, I'll reveal it, what I did, okay? I'm using snatches. You can also do this little thing with the swing. So, 5 snatches on my left. Let's hope I don't screw this up. All right, now let's rewind that, and let's see what I did different. What is up, friend? Okay, Hector here, 𝗺𝗵𝗂𝗃.com. I'm going to be taking you through a little tweak that I did, from the left hand to the right hand. So I started the snatches with my right hand, and I'm doing 5 snatches per side. And then when I get to the left, I do a small tweak. And actually, I'm lying. I did 2 small tweaks, and I'm wondering if you caught them. So what I'm doing here is everything in fast speed, everything pretty much looks the same in fast speed, or I guess live. But I'm actually, something very distinct is happening here as I'm snatching. What's happening is my breath is different on my right side. Right there. So the moment when you drive through your hips, so one thing I'm doing is, as I'm snatching, instead of breathing right here through my hips, as my hips extend, I'm actually breathing right here as I catch the bell and I lock out. That's where my breath is at. Instead of breathing through my hips, which would power my abs, kick my abs into gear, and would allow me to have a much more effective snatch. So I'll play this at regular speed. So what I did there is I played it at regular speed, and you notice that my breath finishes here at the lockout. Actually, what I want to happen is, as I drive through my hips, I want the breath to happen as I drive through my hips, okay? And another thing that I did, this is the key piece that I want you to take away from this video. And I see this a lot, and I make this mistake a lot too, and this is why I video most of my own training sessions. All 5 snatches on my left side, I actually pulled the bell out of my hips, and my hips didn't actually drive the kettlebell. And it's so fast, the snatch, and even this happens with swings, this happens with cleans. It's so fast that you really don't see it. So I want to play this in live speed. It looks like my hips are driving, right? I mean, I'm finishing with my glutes. It looks like my hips are driving, but actually I'm pulling the bell, and this is why I like this slow-mo feature. Watch this here. The moment, see, the bell's already coming out of my hip, so you can see right here. You can see right here, my hips are still, flexed, and the bell is already out of my hip. You see those two things there? So the bell is already coming out, and yet my glutes don't even come into play until right there. So by the time my glutes are extending, the bell is at my head. So that whole snatch was accelerated not by my hips, but by my arms and my shoulder. So if you're ever wondering why your elbows are hurting, while snatching, or maybe your shoulder's bothering you while snatching, it's because you're using your arms and your shoulder versus using your hips. So I'll run this through one more time. Okay. So instead of my hips propelling the bell forward, you can see here's the bell. The bell is already all the way out here. See that? And yet my hips are still flexed. And the bell, my hips do not come into extension until right there. Boom. My glutes are now locking and driving, but yet here's the bell. The bell is already, belly button height. So what that means is I'm using my arm more than I'm using my hips. And then I'm still getting a decent arc tame there, elbows coming in, and then I'm punching through at 10 o'clock. So the two things that are happening here is my breathing is not happening as I squeeze my glutes, and I'm pulling the bell with my arms. Okay, so I'll show that one more time. Bang, there it is. Bell's way out here in front, and my glutes just came through, and I'm already getting ready to punch. So by the time my glutes locked, I'm punching, pretty much. But in fast speed, you don't really see that. It looks like my hips are propelling the bell. And that's why it's great to break down your training sessions. So let's move forward. So here's the tweak on the left side. My breathing syncs with my hips. And let's play that piece first. You can hear as soon as I drive, bam, bell overhead. Here it comes again. Boom. Do you see that? As soon as I lock my glutes, right there, boom. And I'm actually doing better at driving through my hips. So you see, there's that connection. I still have that connection of my forearm and my groin because that's where that power is going to come through. And I lock my butt right there. So it's a little better. I can still work on it and get it better. But my elbow, look at the really cool thing here, is my elbow stays in the entire time. Elbow stays in, tames that arc, and then the snatch goes straight up. And then I bend, lead with the elbow, boom. See how the elbow comes straight down. Elbow's got to come straight down with those snatches and not out. And I covered this in the snatch series before this video. There it is, boom. Elbow comes straight down, right back between the legs, and then boom. So I'm actually doing a lot better powering the bell with my glutes here. Boom. So you see my hips are coming forward and popping that bell straight up. So I'm getting less pull with my arm, and my hips are driving much better. And then from there, I'm taming the arc and then dropping it straight down by leading with the elbow. That's a crucial piece. I cannot stress enough how important it is to lead with the elbow on the way down from that snatch. So let's play this in real time. Let's back it up a second. Here we go. So you'll see that my breath happens at the hips, and you'll see that my glutes do a much better job and that timing and being patient and waiting for that arm and keeping that arm connected to my hip until the last second. Pretty cool, huh? So you can see again, like my hip, and you can also see how much faster that bell went up. You can see how much faster the bell went up. I'll run through just a couple more snatches. You can see how much faster it is. Boom, it's fast. Nice. So that's pretty much it. That is that little tweak that I did. And if you caught that while I was snatching, awesome. Kudos to you. You've got a great coach's eye. And if you didn't, not a big deal. This is why we break down things like this. This is why I video each and every one of my training sessions, and you see me posting them on my social media, is so that I analyze all this stuff. I obsess over it. I want to make sure that my technique is as clean as possible, because at the end of the day, technique is king. The cleaner your technique is, the more efficient you're going to be with your lifting, which means you'll be able to lift more weight. More weight you lift, more calories you're going to burn. On the right nutrition plan, you can start to see some fat loss changes, muscle growth, etc. So that is why it is so crucial to analyze your training. So basically in this video, I showed you the two little tweaks. So going from synchronizing your breath and breathing through your hips. So when your glutes extend forward, that's when you want to sharply exhale with that power breath. Okay. And two, you want to use the glutes to propel the bell forward and not to pull the bell out of your hips prematurely. So that's all I got. Hopefully you get some value out of that. If you have any questions, leave something in the comments section below. As always, I leave some free resources down there. If you don't have my free ebook or any of our other cool resources, check them out. If you're enjoying these videos, be sure to check out the other two or three videos that I did on the Snatch series that I just put up here in the corners, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you can stay up to date with all the latest and greatest cutting edge information on kettlebells and strength training, etc. So that's all I got. Hector with strongestech.com with this week's bonus technique of the week.